Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. Wuxia. Download full-level divine skills and talents. Tang Long traveled to the world of Heaven Sword and Dragon Saber and became a miscellaneous disciple of the Wudang sect. Without cultivation talent and powerful techniques, Tang Long expressed Alexander. Fortunately, Awakening has the strongest download system, which can download full-level martial arts and other people's talents. What? Song Qing Shu, this little brat, actually has a 9th grade talent. Don't be busy going home yet, play outside for a while, and share your 9th grade talent with me. Zhang Sanfeng, come on, download me the extraordinary intelligence talent and numerous martial arts techniques. Sword God Shimen Chueshue has come to challenge Zhang Sanfeng. Don't walk so fast, let me share your extraordinary swordsmanship talent. Emperor Shirtian, don't run away. Share your holy heart formula with me before leaving. Tang Long, who has the strongest download system, said that he cannot download without any skills or talents. The world's most talented genius was born here. Tang Long. There is no strongest talent, only stronger. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Download full-level divine arts and talent systems. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tang Long woke up in a daze. He opened his eyes and found himself in an unfamiliar environment. This is a courtyard, with firewood piled up in front of it, and a wooden stake embedded with an axe. He looked at himself and found himself wearing a Taoist coarse cloth robe. A Taoist robe. What is this place? He muttered to himself. Countless memories immediately appeared in my mind. The world of Heaven Sword and Dragon Saber. Have I traveled? After sorting out the memories in Tang Long's mind, he was unable to speak for a long time. He is a miscellaneous disciple of Wudang sect, and his daily task is to chop firewood. Zhang Sanfeng, Song Yuanqiao, Yu Lianzhou, Zhang Songxi, Yu Daiyan, Mo Xinggu, Song Qingshu names flashed through my mind one by one. He lifted his hand and saw a pair of small hands covered in calluses, but appearing very immature. I'm only 10 years old. Fortunately, the disciples of Wudang sect consider that he is still young and the tasks assigned to him are not very heavy. They only need to chop a small pile of firewood every day to learn martial arts with other senior brothers. Thinking of learning martial arts, Tang Long's eyes lit up and he didn't think much. He immediately picked up an axe and started chopping firewood. This kind of rough work has been done by this body for 3 years, and when it comes to chopping firewood, it naturally becomes familiar with the road. In less than an hour, he chopped out a pile of firewood. And endured the heat in his heart, and Tang Long patiently cut and chopped firewood. About 2 hours have passed. He chopped all the firewood and rested without any rest, so he eagerly walked out of the yard. The Wudang party is relatively lenient towards miscellaneous disciples, with no special tasks, no going out of the miscellaneous hall, no provoking trouble, and no one taking care of you. Out of the courtyard, the scenery of Wudang comes into view. The Wudang sect here is very different from the Wudang sect he visited in Blue Star. The mountains here are shrouded in clouds and mist, and disciples are practicing martial arts everywhere. What caught Tang Long's attention the most was that in the neighboring martial arts training hall, a young Taoist was practicing lightness skills. With a swoosh, he appeared on the treetops of 5 or 6 meters high, as light as a swallow and unaffected by gravity. Tang Long's heart was filled with passion. The most famous lightness skill of Wudang sect is the ladder cloud leap. Wudang ladder cloud leap can be regarded as a lightness skill among lightness techniques. It emphasizes the lightness of body movements and does not confuse opponents with variable footwork. Its essence is to have a nimble body shape and be able to move in and out freely. I don't know when I will be able to learn advanced martial arts like Wudang ladder cloud leap. Tang Long watched without blinking as the senior brother of the martial arts training hall flew back and forth on the top of the tree, as light and agile as a swallow. Thinking of martial arts, Tang Long suddenly heard that the original owner of this body, who had been with Wudang's sect for 3 years, should have practiced the entry-level martial arts of Wudang. Quickly block memories in the mind. Next moment his face instantly turned black like the bottom of a pot. Can't it? Can't it? This body is so useless. Other people who entered the Wudang sect together with him. For 3 years, I practiced a basic internal skill called Wudang Mind Technique. I have already entered the 3rd-tier realm from the non-mainstream realm. And he didn't. Still stuck in a stagnant state. Oh my God, is my martial arts dream really about to be shattered? Tang Long is very unwilling. He, who never gave up, immediately sat on the same ground to practice. He still harbors a hint of fantasy in his heart. Perhaps his travels may have brought other changes to this body. Hey! In 15 minutes. Tang Long let out a heavy sigh, his whole body resembling a deflated ball. His travels did not bring any changes to this body. Through memory, a strong sense of urgency emerged from deep within him. 5 years later will be Zhang Sanfeng's centenary. When the time comes, Zhang Cuishan will return with Yin Susu and Zhang Wuji. Major sects in the martial arts world have come to inquire about the whereabouts of the Golden Lion King Xie Sun. If someone were to kill several Wudang sect miscellaneous disciples in a fit of madness and anger, this is not impossible to happen. What if one of them happens to be me? Also, Song Qingshu was instigated to harm Wudang, and Zhao Min led her subordinates to attack Wudang Mountain. What if he kills me? At that moment, Tang Long suddenly felt like he was in danger. If his strength could not be improved, he might probably be killed. As for leaving Wudang sect, Tang Long firmly denies this idea. The martial arts world is dangerous, and relatively speaking, Wudang sect is even safer. No, I must practice hard. He clenched his fists tightly and immediately began practicing Wudang Mind Technique in order to save his own life in the future. Immediately, Tang Long sat cross-legged on the ground, calming his mind and not thinking about anything, as stated in the Wudang Mind Technique. Day after day passed like this, and in the blink of an eye, 3 months had already passed. For 3 months, in addition to completing daily tasks, Tang Long either practiced Wudang mental techniques in his own residence or went to the martial arts training ground of the miscellaneous service hall, where external disciples taught the most basic Wudang sword techniques. In the past 3 months, whether it's Wudang's mental skills or Wudang sword techniques, he has almost been practicing tirelessly. Even as night fell and other miscellaneous disciples fell asleep, Tang Long still dragged his heavy body to review the Wudang swordsmanship he had practiced all day. However, after 3 months of hard cultivation, he saw many people who were lazy and slippery every day leading him a lot. And those who practice hard are now among the top performers in the miscellaneous service hall, regarded as outstanding in the eyes of external disciples. Tang Long finally deeply felt the unfairness of this world. He has already practiced very seriously, even if others are lazy, his cultivation level is still higher than himself, and he plays swordsmanship better than himself. Oh my goodness, why are you so cruel? You let me travel to this world, but gave me such an ending. I hate it. One night, Tang Long finally couldn't suppress his despair and roared in his heart. Congratulations to the host for awakening and downloading the full-level divine skill and talent system. May I ask if the host wants to receive a beginner gift package? A beautiful voice rang out in Tang Long's mind. Tang Long was momentarily stunned. What? Download the full-level divine skill and talent system. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 2. System Functions, Beginner Gift Pack. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Download the full-level Divine Skill and Talent System. Tang Long couldn't help but laugh and cry, as a child who can cry has milk to drink. I have been diligently practicing for so long, exhausted every day. Now, with just a roar in my heart, I awaken the legendary Golden Finger. System, what are your functions? Tang Long inquired. By listening to the name of the system, he actually knows a rough idea, but the specific details need to be asked about the system before he can truly understand. This system currently only has 3 functions. Firstly, download. You can download any divine skill and talent, and the downloaded divine skill can be upgraded directly. Tang Long's eyes lit up. Download divine arts directly. And as long as the downloaded divine skill is reached, it will directly reach its full level. This some awesome. System, do you mean that as long as I download the martial arts, I don't need to cultivate them and can directly reach the top level? Does that mean that if I download the Wudang 9 Yang technique, I can immediately reach the first class level, even the ultimate level? As far as Tang Long knows, the strength realm of this world is divided from low to high into non-mainstream, third-rate, second-rate, first-class, top-notch, peerless, innate, master, and great master. It is said that Yuanqiao, one of the 7 heroes of Wudang, is a peerless expert. As for Zhang Sanfeng's true realm, as a miscellaneous disciple, he has no access to it. However, at least they are all experts who surpass the innate realm. No, host, you're only half right. If you reach the highest level of cultivation, you'll always be in a state of non-cultivation. Tang Long frowned and said, System, did you make a mistake? As far as I know, Wudang Zhuyanggong is an internal mental skill. Isn't it true that the higher the level of internal mental skill cultivation, the stronger the internal power? This doesn't align with common sense. Host, don't worry, your statement is indeed correct. The more you practice an internal mental skill, the more powerful the practitioner's internal power becomes. However, may I ask, have you practiced it after downloading it? Tang Long was speechless. After pondering for a long time, he immediately figured out the key to the problem. Downloading a full-level divine skill is like chopping firewood. The chopped firewood is equivalent to the true energy in his dantian. Even if his chopping skills reach the top of the world and he doesn't take action, the chopped firewood is 0. Put it in a more vivid metaphor. For example, carrying water. A large empty water tank is equivalent to Tang Long's dantian now. The full-level Wudang 9 Yang skill is equivalent to the world's top water lifting skills and strength. With the world's top water lifting skills and strength, if you don't carry water, the empty water tank will never have water. Therefore, even if you download a full level of divine skills, you still need to cultivate your own internal skills. Is this a bit of a chicken rib? Tang Long pursed his lips in disgust. Host, don't be unsatisfied. Can the full-level Wudang 9 Yang skill and the newly introduced Wudang 9 Yang skill have the same effect when practicing? Furthermore, the reason why it is called a download system is that you can download any divine skill that others have learned. For example, the dragon subduing 18 palms, E Jin Jing, 6 meridian divine sword, sacred heart technique, and so on. Tang Long's eyes lit up and he said, Bull, you're amazing. The system, I can directly download the full-level divine skill, so downloading talents is a bit unnecessary. If you don't understand, ask. Whenever you have any doubts, Tang Long will immediately bring them up. No, it's not unnecessary. Host, you should know that there are many types of talents, such as cultivation talents, swordsmanship talents, and so on. The most important thing is that some peerless divine skills are not practiced by anyone in this world. At this time, if you want to learn, how can you learn without talent? Moreover, the the speed of cultivating internal skills is not only related to the cultivation method, but also greatly related to talent. Another thing is, with powerful talents, you can create your own martial arts creating techniques. Tang Long understood as soon as he heard it. People such as the founder of Bodhidharma, Duan Siping, Morong Longcheng, and Xia Yozi all created their own martial arts, established sects, or established a powerful force. In addition to the download function, the host can also see others' property panels. The last feature is fusion. Fusion is also very simple, which is to integrate the downloaded divine skills or talents with oneself. After listening to the introduction of the system's functions, Tang Long has a clear understanding. However, just as Tang Long was excited and wanted to find someone else to download his divine skills and talents, the systems, however, made his face change drastically. Upon hearing, however, he immediately realized that there must be some limitations. Sure enough, however, there are limitations on the download scope and time. Currently, the host is in a state of non-streaming, so the system's coverage range is 1 meter in a radius. This requires the host to enter within 1 meter of the target area before downloading. If the host reaches the third-tier realm, the coverage range will increase to 10 meters. The system said slowly. Upon hearing this, Tang Long felt like a dog in the sun. The system sounded strong, but the limitations were also terrifying. Why don't you say the system coverage range is -18 centimeters? Through the system, Tang Long also learned that the more advanced the divine skill, the longer it takes to download. For example, like the 6 Meridian Divine Sword, it takes a day to download and complete. This Tang Long felt depressed and wanted to curse his mother. With such a powerful golden finger, there were so many restrictions. Kind reminder, the host's newbie gift package has not been claimed yet. Do you want to claim it? The sound of the system echoed in Tang Long's mind. There's also a beginner gift pack. Tang Long was taken aback and said, "Get it now." Congratulations to the host for having the opportunity to download the system without taking time. The wonderful sound of the system resounds. Tang Long is a bit confused, download without waiting. That is to say, as long as the card is used up, there is no need to squat around the target for a day for the last download. System, was the use of this opportunity voluntarily decided by me, or was it simply because I downloaded it for the first time and assumed this opportunity was used up? It is entirely the host's own decision. Upon hearing this, Tang Long breathed a sigh of relief. In addition to requiring time to download, there is also a scope limitation. That is to say, even if he uses this opportunity immediately, he can only download within 1 meter of the target with his current strength in the realm of non-entry. It's easy for him to get close to other miscellaneous disciples now, but big shots like Wudang 7 Heroes and Zhang Sanfeng, especially Zhang Sanfeng, are often secluded. Not to mention being a miscellaneous disciple, even Wudang's 7 Heroes rarely see Zhang Sanfeng on a regular basis. Therefore, Tang Long believes that he should seize this opportunity and use it when he breaks through the third-tier realm or reaches a higher level of cultivation. At that time, he may be able to download the 7 Heroes of Wudang, and even the divine skills or talents of Zhang Sanfeng. After thoroughly understanding the functions of downloading the full-level divine skill and talent system, Tang Long looked directly at several miscellaneous disciples in the same dormitory, and suddenly attribute panels appeared in front of him. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 3. Download 3rd rank talent, Wudang Mind Method. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It was already late at night, and the miscellaneous disciples in the same dormitory as him were all sleeping like dead pigs, with snoring coming and going. Tang Long got out of bed and explored the past one by one. Name: Zhang Shan Skills. Wudang Heart Technique and Wudang Sword Technique. Cultivation Talent. First rank cultivation. Early stage of third class realm name. Li Si skills. Wudang heart technique and Wudang sword technique. Cultivation talent. First rank cultivation. Early stage of third class realm. Tang Long investigated one by one, and these miscellaneous disciples not only learned the same martial arts, but also the vast majority of their cultivation talents were of the first grade. According to the system, a person's cultivation talent is divided into 9 levels from low to high. The first to third levels are low-level talents, the fourth to sixth levels are medium-level talents, the seventh to ninth levels are high-level talents, and above the ninth level are super-level talents, upper, middle, and lower levels, top-level talents, upper, middle, and lower levels, and extraordinary-level talents, upper, middle, and lower levels. A first-class talent. Tang Long's mouth twitched uncontrollably. Trash talent. Since I can see others' talents, I should also be able to see my own. Tang Long's mind moved and his attribute panel appeared before his eyes. Name. Tang Long skills. Wudang heart technique, Wudang sword technique. Cultivation talent. None. Cultivation. Do not enter the realm of the mainstream. Seeing the word nothing behind the cultivation talent, Tang Long was foolish. I was just roast about other people's talent garbage. Now I look at my own, Nima, and I don't have talent for cultivation. Although other people's cultivation talents may be garbage, they have at least reached the grade level. No wonder I've been practicing hard for 3 months without any change. I don't have any talent for cultivation. No matter how hard I practice, it's useless. However, fortunately my system has awakened now. Otherwise, when other forces attack Wudang Mountain, I will become a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. Tang Long finally turned his gaze to the miscellaneous disciple sleeping at the bottom. This person's name is Yi Hao, and he is the strongest and fastest cultivator in this dormitory. He is also the person with the highest status in this dormitory. Not to mention anything else, his bunk alone is equivalent to the size of Tang Long and 2 or 3 of them. Name. Yi Hao skills. Wudang heart technique and Wudang sword technique. Cultivation talent. Third rank. Cultivation. In the early stage of the third tier realm. Finally, I have a decent talent. Tang Long breathed a sigh of relief. System, lock me in Yi Hao and download the third level talent. Ding, downloading the third level talent takes 3 hours. May I ask if the host will download it immediately? 3 hours. Tang Long frowned, but considering that there were still 6 hours until dawn, he immediately nodded and said, download now. May I ask if the host is immediately using the opportunity for instant download? No. Ding, the system has successfully locked the target character and is starting to download. Please maintain a distance of no more than 1 meter from Yi Hao within 3 hours, otherwise the download will be interrupted. Once the download is interrupted, you will have to re-enter the download mode. Now that Yi Hao has fallen asleep, it can be said that this download will go very smoothly. Of course, in order to ensure the success of the download and prevent Yi Hao from interrupting the download in the middle of the night, Tang Long stood directly in front of the former's bed. System, continue downloading and download Wudang Mind technique for me. Compared to martial arts moves, Tang Long now craves martial arts mental techniques even more. As long as he successfully breaks through the third tier realm, the coverage range of the system can be expanded from 1 meter to 10 meters. A coverage range of 10 meters makes it more convenient to download other divine skills. Ding, it takes 10 minutes to download Wudang Mind method. May I ask if the host wants to download it now? 10 minutes. Tang Long's face lit up, which was quite good. System, could you please download Wudang swordsmanship together? Don't even use the opportunity to download it instantly. Ding, downloading Wudang swordsmanship takes 10 minutes, start downloading immediately. Please keep the host within 1 meter of Yi Hao. 10 minutes will pass. Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully downloading the full-level Wudang Heart Technique and the full-level Wudang Sword Technique. May I ask if the host will merge immediately? Tang Long was unsure if there would be any other symptoms during fusion, so he immediately shook his head and said, "We won't merge for now." Hurry up, hurry up. The more anxious Tang Long was in his heart, the slower time passed, and he found that his days were like years. Helpless, he had to take deep breaths to relax, but considering his third-grade talent, he couldn't relax. In Tang Longdu's restless state, time finally passed 3 hours. Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully downloading the third-level talent. May I ask if the host has merged? At the moment when the system sounded like a heavenly sound, Tang Long rushed out of the dormitory and couldn't help but excitedly tune up, "Yeah. Let's merge together." Boom. An inexplicable force acted on Tang Long, washing his entire body up and down. Pain. Endless pain flooded into my mind, as if my whole body was about to explode. Damn it, I didn't expect the downloaded talents to merge so painfully. Tang Long cursed secretly. However, even if he knew it was so painful, he would not hesitate to merge. This is a natural talent for changing fate, like a rebirth. A little pain is nothing. Tang Long gritted his teeth and dared not make painful screams, otherwise it would surely attract the attention of others. Pain comes and goes quickly. 10 minutes later, Tang Long's pain gradually dissipates and is replaced by a burst of relief. Of course, Tang Long did not forget the most important thing. He immediately opened his property panel to check his situation. Name. Tang Long skills. Wudang Heart Technique, full level, Wudang Sword Technique, full level. Cultivation talent. Third rank cultivation. Do not enter the mainstream. Seeing the information on the virtual screen, Tang Long couldn't help but get excited. Finally, he is no longer lacking in cultivation talent, which represents that his cultivation talent has truly changed and that he has an infinite future. The realm of third rate, second rate, and even the innate realm behind him are no longer his limits. As long as he continuously downloads full-level divine skills and continuously integrates his talents, he will definitely become a born powerhouse like Zhang Sanfeng in the future, and even surpassing Zhang Sanfeng is not a dream. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4. Promotion to Third Class Realm. You are listening at novelfull.audio. First, try the cultivation speed brought by the third-level cultivation talent and the full-level Wudang Mind Technique. Tang Long couldn't wait to try. He walked straight to the place where he used to go out to practice alone at night and sat cross-legged. It's already past 3 a.m. now, and the entire miscellaneous hall is quiet. There is no one outside, only the stars in the sky flicker and stare at Tang Long, who is practicing alone. Tang Long sat cross-legged on the ground, calm and focused, still practicing as usual. Wudang's mental techniques are divided into 5 layers, and he has completely mastered them. Now, all he needs to do is to use the techniques and accumulate internal energy. He began to indulge in luck according to his mental method. Not long after, his Taoist robe began to stir and he entered a state of practicing martial arts. Just 3 or 4 minutes later, a small internal force appeared in his originally empty dantian. It seems like a heat source is surging inside the body and can be controlled by him, which is very magical. This is the effect of reaching the full level of Wudang Mind Technique. After 5 or 6 years of practicing the 9 Yang Manual, Zhang Wuji will be able to excel in the world, which shows the importance of internal skills. Wudang mental skill is only a basic skill, and it is not at the same level as the 9 Yang Manual. However, the full-level Wudang mental skill is also very strong. Many people spend their entire lives in poverty and find it difficult to cultivate a particular skill to the extreme. Undoubtedly, it is a third-grade talent. If I still do not have the talent to cultivate, I'm afraid even if I have a full level of Wudang mental skills, it will be difficult for me to cultivate my internal power, right? Tang Long is very satisfied with the cultivation effect of the third-grade talent and the full-level Wudang mental method. In the following days, Tang Long quickly completed his tasks during the day and began to immerse himself in practicing martial arts. In the past 3 years, I haven't cultivated my internal power for over 3 years. At this moment, I see that the full-level Wudang heart method and third-rank talent are combined, and the cultivation speed is relatively fast compared to other miscellaneous disciples. It can be described as terrifying. How could he miss such a good opportunity to cultivate? Time passed through Tang Long's tireless cultivation day and night. In just 1 week, he elevated his cultivation to the pinnacle of the realm of non-entry, and half a month later, he broke free from years of imprisonment and broke through to the realm of third tier. This caused a sensation among all the miscellaneous disciples in the miscellaneous hall. Tang Long, who used to practice hard but couldn't achieve any results, has now become a cultivation genius in the eyes of everyone. In the eyes of everyone, this is Tang Long's thick accumulation in thin hair, becoming a relatively strong group of miscellaneous disciples. But Tang Long did not become complacent just because of a little progress, instead he worked harder and harder. However, his direction of effort is somewhat different. After reaching the third-rate realm, apart from completing tasks by chopping firewood and practicing all night at night, he spends a lot of time during the day searching for good talents. Now his cultivation has broken through to the third-tier realm, and the coverage range of the system has also reached a radius of 10 meters. Approaching other miscellaneous disciples while checking their cultivation talents on the attribute panel. First-grade talent. First-grade talent. First-grade talent. Second-grade talent. He checked 10 people in a row, and only one of them had a second-grade talent. Second-grade talent. Second-grade talent. Third-grade talent. Not bad. Besides Yi Hao, I finally met another third-grade talent. Just as Tang Long sighed, 2 miscellaneous disciples were actually competing in the martial arts arena ahead. Wudang swordsmanship, both of them use it without hesitation. Of course, compared to Tang Long, who has already reached the full level of Wudang's mental skills, it is naturally incomparable. However, among the miscellaneous disciples, they are also considered top-notch. At this moment, many miscellaneous disciples have already completed today's task. Seeing these 2 miscellaneous disciples actually competing in martial arts, they immediately gathered around to watch the excitement. Tang Long followed the crowd and quickly approached the 2 of them. Name. Zhang Han skills. Wudang heart technique and Wudang sword technique. Cultivation talent. 5th rank cultivation. In the middle stage of the third-tier realm. Name. Wang Yuan skills. Wudang heart technique and Wudang sword technique. Cultivation talent. 4th rank cultivation. In the middle stage of the third-tier realm. Tang Long stared wide-eyed at the 2 attribute panels that appeared in front of him, and then a hint of ecstasy appeared on his face. 5th grade. I really found a treasure now. Unexpectedly, among our group of miscellaneous disciples, there is also a 5th-grade cultivation talent. You should know that those who entered Wudang Mountain with him as miscellaneous disciples and were outstanding in cultivation were all taken away by the martial arts training hall after just 1 year of arrival. It's not easy to have a 5th-grade talent now. I must have the 5th-grade talent. Tang Long's gaze towards Zhang Han began to heat up. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. Challenge Zhang Han. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. By the time he received his 3rd grade talent, he had already tasted the essence and tasted it. I don't know if his third-grade talent is thousands of times faster than when he didn't have any talent before. What is the speed of cultivating a fifth-grade talent? He is looking forward to it. System, how long does it take for me to download Zhang Han's 5th level talent? Zhang Han has been seen by Tang Long, but he is not familiar with him. It takes 3 hours to download the 3rd level talent, while downloading the 5th level talent only takes a considerable amount of time. Sure enough, ding, downloading the 5th level talent takes 5 hours. Does the host immediately lock the download? The wonderful sound of the system echoed in his mind. 5 hours. Tang Long frowned and said, I won't download it for now. He is not familiar with Zhang Han, and the coverage range of the system is only 10 meters now. You may accidentally interrupt the download. For today's plan, we can only find a good opportunity to approach Zhang Han for 5 hours. Now let's focus on watching the martial arts competition. As long as he's in the miscellaneous hall, his 5th grade talent won't run away. Thinking of his talent, Tang Long couldn't help but cast his gaze towards the neighboring martial arts training hall. All the miscellaneous disciples have a common dream, which is to leave the miscellaneous hall and enter the martial arts training hall. The disciples of the martial arts training hall not only do not need to do the rough work of carrying water and chopping firewood, but also have several times or even 10 times better resources in terms of food and cultivation. Tang Long is no exception. However, Tang Long now wants to enter the martial arts training hall mainly because the disciples in the training hall have much higher talent than those in the miscellaneous service hall. Additionally, many of the disciples in the training hall have already practiced Wudang ladder cloud column. These are all resources. Especially when he thought of the scene 3.5 months ago when a young Taoist was soaring back and forth on the treetops, his heart was filled with passion. You must enter the martial arts training hall as soon as possible. This may be an opportunity, he said, glancing at the 2 people competing on the stage. Tang Long, who had made up his mind, watched the 2 of them compete in martial arts with other miscellaneous disciples. The 2 have similar cultivation levels, but Zhang Han's Wudang swordsmanship is even better. It won't be long before Wang Yuan is defeated. Tang Long's eyes narrowed slightly, and he, who possessed the system, had already discerned everything. Sure enough, Wang Yuan only sustained for a quarter of an hour before being defeated by Zhang Han's sword. The 2 of them politely agreed to fight again next time, and Wang Yuan immediately left. I don't know which senior brother will challenge me Zhang Han again. As the old rule goes, as long as someone defeats me, I promise him a condition that does not violate the morality of the martial arts world. Zhang Han stood on the martial arts competition platform with a proud expression on his face. Senior brother Zhang, who wouldn't know that the disciples of our faction hall belong to you with the strongest martial arts skills? Perhaps only Wang Yuan, a martial arts enthusiast, would do this kind of seeking abuse. That's right. Even if you know you're not defeated, why don't you go up and seek abuse? Isn't that crazy? I don't think anyone would be foolish enough to challenge senior brother Zhang. Let's just break up. As long as you defeat him, he can agree to a condition. Tang Long's eyes lit up and he quickly squeezed out of the crowd. Amidst the somewhat shocked gazes of the crowd, he slowly walked up to the martial arts arena. Looking at Tang Long, Zhang Han also had a surprised expression on his face. It was a very unfamiliar face that he had no impression of before. Senior brother Zhang, is what you just said true? As long as you defeat you can promise me a condition. There is nothing wrong with this question, but it sounds very harsh to Zhang Han's ear. Is this kid too arrogant? Zhang Han gave Tang Long a deep glance and said, it doesn't violate the morality of the martial arts world. Senior brother Zhang, you have just fought a battle, why don't you adjust your breathing and recover first? I'm not very anxious. He may not be in a hurry, but in fact, he is more anxious than anyone else in his heart. No need, I won't defeat you. I don't need to do my best, just one move is enough. Zhang Han had a proud expression on his face, and Tang Long could clearly see the disdainful expression in the other person's eyes. Who is this person? Doesn't he know that senior brother Zhang Han is an invincible presence in the faction hall? He actually wants to challenge senior brother Zhang Han. What's the difference between this and seeking abuse? I know him, he's the one who caused a stir in the small area of the miscellaneous hall during this period. Are you saying? That guy who has been stuck in the realm of non-mainstream for over 3 years and just recently broke through to the realm of third mainstream. Not bad, it's him. After learning the exact identity of Tang Long, the audience immediately booed. This guy, with some strength, really thinks he's capable. This kind of sudden wealth, senior brother Zhang will teach him how to be a good person later. Senior brother Zhang, don't give us face, torture him severely. From the perspective of these miscellaneous disciples in the audience, Tang Long is truly a rising star. With a bit of strength, it swells up, as if I am the heavenly King Laozi. Listening to the call from the audience, Zhang Han curled his lips and outlined a proud sneer. Where did this kid come from? He even fantasized about defeating me. Wait, see how I torture you. Glancing at Tang Long, Zhang Han thought to himself. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6. Defeated Zhang Han, got the 5th ranked talent. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Tang Long naturally heard the sarcastic remarks from the audience towards him. If it were him half a month ago, as the guys below said, he was a bit overwhelmed. It's okay, after today's World War I, the disciples of the entire miscellaneous service hall will have a different view of themselves. In terms of cultivation, he is indeed inferior to Zhang Han, but in Wudang swordsmanship, he doesn't know how many streets he can beat Zhang Han. In the situation where the opponent underestimates the enemy, as long as he fights quickly and defeats Zhang Han, it is not difficult. As if he had not heard the sound from the audience, Tang Long walked straight to the weapon rack on the competition stage and drew a green steel sword. With a tremble in his wrist, he pulled out several sword flowers in mid-air. Seeing this scene, everyone below the stage let out a soft sigh. This guy looks like he has 2 down sons. Maybe just this move, he doesn't even know how many years he has been practicing before he can shine like this. Look, when he starts taking action, he is definitely a paper tiger. A cold laugh rang out in the crowd, and the vast majority of people nodded in agreement. That move just now was really impressive, but don't think I'll be scared and give up because of your move. Just now, Tang Long's move really surprised Zhang Han, but after hearing the comments from the audience, he thought it was understandable. Tang Long smiled without explaining, just extending his right hand to make a polite gesture of invitation. Senior brother Zhang, please. After hearing that Tang Long didn't give up, Zhang Han remained so calm and composed. He immediately glanced at Tang Long with some suspicion. Seeing that the latter had a winning hand in hand, he felt a little uneasy in his heart. This guy is still pretending at this moment. If I hadn't known he had just broken through the third-rate realm, he would have really scared me. A miscellaneous disciple below the stage sneered coldly. It's really true. If you didn't say I saw him so calm, I thought he kept it hidden. Senior brother Zhang, beat him to death. What I hate the most is this kind of pretentious guy. If you can't do it, you can't do it. You live with your head down, and no one says anything about you. But if you insist on pretending, shouldn't you be beaten? Upon hearing the voice from the audience again, the slightest hint of unease in Zhang Han's heart swept away, and he once again became arrogant and domineering. He pursed his lips and said, "Pretend, you keep pretending. I want to see how long you can pretend. Since that's the case, senior brother will accompany you through 2 moves." Speaking, Zhang Han glared fiercely at Tang Long, who almost scared him just now. Well, for the sake of fairness, senior brother, I'll give you 3 moves first, so that others don't privately accuse me of using big to bully small. Zhang Han held his sword in both hands, with an arrogant expression on his face, especially when he heard the audience say, "Brother Zhang is grand." His eyebrows flew high and his demeanor became even more impressive. Being looked down upon so lightly, anyone would be unbearable. Tang Long coldly glanced at Zhang Han and said coldly, "I hope senior brother doesn't lose too quickly." As Tang Long spoke, he brushed several swords in the air with his sword in his hand and said, 3 moves have passed, senior brother, let's take action. This kid looking at Tang Long with a slight chill on his face, Zhang Han stared intently at the former, wondering where the former had such great confidence. Since he is so disrespectful, Zhang senior brother, you can just beat him up. The audience cheered. Tang Long had a stern face and his sword was as agile as his fingers. He pulled out a sword flower and stabbed Zhang Han, who was riddled with holes. Zhang Han's half-hearted Wudang swordsmanship may be impressive in the eyes of other miscellaneous disciples, but in front of Tang Long, who has already upgraded Wudang swordsmanship to full level, there are loopholes everywhere. Tang Long's sword was pierced without any tricks. But even with such an ordinary sword drawn and stabbed, in Zhang Han's eyes, there was a feeling of unavoidable avoidance. Seeing that Tang Long's sword tip was only half a meter away from his throat, Zhang Han knew that this sword was unavoidable. He had no choice but to activate his true qi and infuse the mid-stage of the 3rd-tier realm's true qi onto the Qingang sword, using his powerful cultivation to shake Tang Long's Qingang sword open. Choking, this sword was blocked by Zhang Han's brute force, and Tang Long felt a tingling sensation in his right hand holding the Qingang sword. Holding the sword in his handshake, Tang Long's eyes slightly froze. The opponent's cultivation is higher than his, and in order to quickly defeat them in a short period of time, he can only leverage his strengths and avoid his weaknesses, and use his full-level swordsmanship to flexibly win. To understand this, Tang Long took a step with his left foot and horizontally moved his body 1 meter to the right. Then, he struck another sword at Zhang Han, who was still in shock. Coming again. Faced with Tang Long's swordsmanship, Zhang Han's heart began to tremble. If it weren't for the fact that his true qi was several times thicker than Tang Longxiong's just now, he might have been defeated by a single sword. How exquisite your swordsmanship is. Your cultivation is lower than mine. As long as I confront you head-on, I will ultimately win. Zhang Han was not a fool either. He immediately understood this and was about to infuse his true energy into the Qingang sword in his hand, rushing towards Tang Long's sword. Upon seeing this scene, a cold smile appeared at the corner of Tang Long's mouth, his wrist trembled, and his green steel sword swung a weak move. The sword that had originally stabbed Zhang Han's throat turned a big corner and ran straight towards his waist. Zhang Han's sword pounced in the air. Seeing the whereabouts of Tang Long's sword, his face changed greatly. The sword in his hand immediately moved down, trying to remedy it, but it was of no use. Senior brother Zhang, you lost. On the martial arts competition stage, Tang Long's green steel sword gently pressed against Zhang Han's waist. As long as he exerted a slight force on his hand, there would definitely be an extra hole on the opponent's body. Seeing this, although Zhang Han was very unwilling, he also knew that he had indeed lost. And it's just a matter of 2 moves and losing. My Zhang Han skills are not as good as others. I did lose. Please state your conditions. As long as it does not violate the morality of the martial arts world, I will agree. Zhang Han blushed and said. Although Zhang Hanping was somewhat arrogant during his time, he was still considered a man. Tang Long nodded and withdrew his sword from his hand. My request is very simple, as long as you stand here for 5 hours without moving, that's all. Are you sure that's all for this condition? Upon hearing this, Zhang Han found it difficult to believe. At first, he thought Tang Long would propose some very difficult conditions, but he didn't expect it to be so easy. Do you think it's too simple? If it's too simple, I can replace it for you. Tang Long joked. No, 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 I think this condition is very difficult, no need to change, no need to change. Zhang Han quickly spoke up. This. How could it be possible? How could senior brother Zhang possibly lose? And he still lost to Tang Long, whose cultivation was lower than him. Is this still the waste material that took more than 3 years to break through to the third rate? Surrounding the martial arts arena, the miscellaneous disciples who had been waiting for Tang Long to be completely abused by Zhang Han looked incredulous as they watched the scene on the field. At this moment everyone looked at Tang Long's eyes, no longer disdainful as before, with a hint of respect added. In the world of martial arts, the strong are respected. No matter how useless Tang Long used to be, being able to write so lightly today and defeat Zhang Han, who is widely recognized as the top miscellaneous disciple, is enough to earn their respect. Tang's senior brother, your swordsmanship is too powerful. Can you teach me? Tang's senior brother, congratulations. Tang's senior brother, I. Next, Tang Long was quickly surrounded by the miscellaneous disciples around him, and everyone approached with a smile. To Tang Long's surprise, there was a silly guy who said he wanted to introduce his beautiful little sister to him, even as a concubine. For the compliments of these people, Tang Long smiled and dismissed everyone. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for successfully downloading the 5th level talent. May I ask if it will merge immediately? 5 hours later, the wonderful sound of the system echoed in Tang Long's mind. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 7. Startling Song Yuanqiao. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 5 hours is over, you can leave now. Tang Long waved his hand to Zhang Han, who was still standing at the penalty station, and left the arena first. Arriving at a remote place, Tang Long called out in his mind, "System, start integrating." Boom! An inexplicable force acted on Tang Long, washing his entire body up and down. Pain. Endless pain flooded into my mind, as if my whole body was about to explode. With his first experience, although this fusion was also very painful, he didn't know if it was an illusion. Tang Long felt that it was much better than the first fusion. After enduring hardship for 10 minutes, a sense of comfort surged in. Tang Long quickly opened the attribute panel to check his own situation. Name. Tang Long skills. Wudang Heart Technique, full level, Wudang Sword Technique, full level. Cultivation Talent. 5th rank Cultivation. In the early stage of the 3rd tier realm. Looking at the real 5th level talents on the attribute panel, Tang Long felt that the pain he mentioned during the fusion was worth it. System, how is my 5th level talent compared to Zhang Han's 5th level talent? Ding, although your talent is actually a 5th grade talent, your 5th grade talent also integrates a 3rd grade talent. Therefore, your talent is on the front line stronger than Zhang Han's talent. The system's answer made Tang Long shine, as he guessed, talent can indeed be stacked. System, wouldn't it be possible for me to download talents everywhere? No matter what the talent level is, after merging, it may improve the talent level. In theory, it's like this, but there's a 10-fold difference between talent levels. What do you mean? If I want to improve my 5th level talent to 6th level now, I need to download 10 5th level talents, 100 4th level talents, 1000 3rd level talents. Or 100,000 1st level talents. That's right, theoretically it's like this, but there are also strengths and weaknesses in talents of the same level. Can the same person's talent be downloaded several times in a row? No way. The excitement that just surged was mercilessly extinguished. Based on the current situation, even if he downloads all the talents of the miscellaneous disciples in the miscellaneous hall, his talent will not reach level 6. With such a cumbersome download, it's better to find an opportunity to enter the martial arts training hall and directly find the 6th grade talent or even higher level cultivation talent to download. When Tang Long returned to the dormitory again, he found that everyone's gaze at him was like looking at a monster. Tang Long, no, senior brother Tang, I heard you defeated the strongest miscellaneous disciple Zhang Han this noon. Is it true? The world of martial arts is revered by the strong. In the past, Yi Hao, who used to shout at Tang Long casually, immediately changed to the nickname Tang's senior brother and dared not call him by name. And the gaze of other miscellaneous disciples in the dormitory also carried a fiery and worshipful look. Looking at his roommate who was usually indifferent but now became extremely enthusiastic, Tang Long couldn't adapt for a moment and said, Do you all know? Boom. With Tang Long's disguised admission, the entire dormitory was boiling. Tang's senior brother, sit down, sit down. Senior brother Tang, are you thirsty? I'll go help you pour water. By the way, senior Tang, I didn't see you coming back for dinner, so I made a special one for you. Is it still hot here now? The roommates in the entire dormitory were talking nonsense, and then they were very busy, each asking for warmth and comfort from Tang Long. Even one roommate almost squatted down to wash Tang Long's feet. Senior brother Tang, this shop will be yours in the future. Yi Hao leaned over very cruelly and pointed to his original bunk. Tang Long turned his head and saw a neatly arranged and spacious bed. Brothers, you have a heart. Tang Long wouldn't be foolish enough to refuse such a good treatment. Enjoying the enthusiastic service of his roommate serving tea and water, Tang Long only felt a bit uncomfortable at first, but later felt extremely satisfied. This once again ignited his strong heart. In this world where martial arts are paramount, if one wants to enjoy superior treatment, their strength must be stronger than others. Thank you all for your hard work, brothers. Under the enthusiastic hospitality of his roommate, Tang Long stood up immediately after dinner and did not indulge in enjoyment. I'm going to practice first, he said, I truly deserve to be a cultivation maniac. I just finished my meal and went out to practice. Everyone should also work hard to cultivate quickly. Didn't you see that senior brother Tang has come from behind? In the past, Tang Long also practiced diligently, but at that time he didn't achieve any results. But now it's different. Seeing Tang Long being so excellent and working so hard, it immediately stimulated the entire dormitory roommate to scream. And just as Tang Long went out to practice as usual, the entire miscellaneous hall was boiling with excitement because Tang Long defeated Zhang Han, the top miscellaneous disciple, with his 2 moves. Even this kind of boiling spread to the neighboring martial arts training hall. I heard that there was a remarkable miscellaneous disciple in the miscellaneous hall today. With just 2 moves, they defeated Zhang Han, the top miscellaneous disciple. Cut, that kid Zhang Han is just like that. I can defeat him with 1 move, and defeat Zhang Han with 2 moves. What's so amazing? Don't say it too early. The miscellaneous disciples who defeated Zhang Han are said to have just entered the 3rd tier realm, and at this time, Zhang Han is already in the middle stage of the 3rd tier realm. I'll ask you, if you've just entered the 3rd tier realm, can you defeat the current Zhang Han with 2 moves? Is it as mysterious as you said? Just stepped into the 3rd tier realm, defeated the middle tier realm, and was very impressive. He only used 2 moves, impossible, absolutely impossible. Hee. Today at noon, senior brother Huafeng happened to be practicing the ladder cloud vertical on a big tree next to the martial arts arena of the miscellaneous service hall. He witnessed this scene with his own eyes. If you don't believe it, we can make a bet that within 3 days, this miscellaneous service disciple named Tang Long will be called into our martial arts training hall. And just as Tang Long's deeds began to spread in the martial arts training hall, the acting leader Song Yuanqiao also received a report from a disciple named Huafeng. Originally, it was difficult to disturb Song Yuanqiao with such a thing, but Tang Long's use of Wudang swordsmanship made Hua Feng astonished. He felt it was necessary to inform the acting leader about this matter. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 8. Test, Amazing 4. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Song Yuanqiao gave Hua Feng a skeptical glance, and the latter immediately affirmed repeatedly, Master, I swear that every word I say is true. If there is a half-lie, my strength will always remain in the second-rate realm. This is so ruthless. As a martial arts practitioner, who wouldn't dream of rapidly improving their own strength? Upon hearing Hua Feng's words and actions, Song Yuanqiao immediately knew that the latter was truly not lying. That is to say, is it true that famous miscellaneous disciples have cultivated Wudang swordsmanship to the level of perfection? His Song Yuanqiao took a breath to calm himself down. Wudang swordsmanship, although only the most fundamental swordsmanship of the Wudang sect. However, even with him as the interim leader, he has only reached a great success now. Of course, part of the reason was that he gave up on continuing to cultivate the most basic swordsmanship of the Wudang sect after developing better swordsmanship. But touching his own conscience, he said that if he hadn't given up at the time, perhaps he could have practiced Wudang swordsmanship to the perfection now. But can the two be the same? He has been practicing for decades now, and Tang Long has only been practicing for a little over 3 years. Does this person have a talent for swordsmanship? After much thought, Song Yuanqiao felt that only this reason could explain the most. Hua Feng, tomorrow you and your senior brother Gu will personally go to the miscellaneous service hall. If the situation is true, let him enter the martial arts training hall directly. As the acting leader of Wudang sect, Song Yuanqiao is very busy on weekdays. Although what Hua Feng said doesn't sound like fraud, the miscellaneous disciple named Tang Long, no matter how talented he is just a miscellaneous disciple. It's not his turn as the interim leader to take the time to inquire. Yes. Upon hearing this, Hua Feng's eyes flickered with joy. Hua Feng's Gu senior brother, whose full name is Gu Shuzi, is a disciple of the 7 heroes of Wudang, Yu Daiyan. Tang Long, who has just obtained the 5th grade talent, is now eager to cultivate Wudang's mental skills. He really wants to see how much stronger the 5th grade talent is compared to the 3rd grade talent. He had no idea that his performance at noon had already alarmed Song Yuanqiao. As Wudang's mental cultivation began, his robe soon began to stir. After a quarter of an hour, Tang Long happily opened his eyes and said, the cultivation speed of the 5th grade talent is fast, which is twice that of the 3rd grade talent. No wonder I have been practicing so hard before, always being left behind by those treacherous and slippery disciples. Talent is just too important. After Tang Long sighed, he immediately entered the cultivation state again. Practicing also requires moderation and relaxation. Tang Long practiced until late at night, feeling that the true qi in his body had once again deepened, before returning to his large bed in the dormitory to sleep. The next day, Tang Long had just finished breakfast and was about to go chopping firewood to complete today's task when a commotion came from not far away. Immediately afterwards, he heard Yi Haosen's joyful shout. Tang senior brother, hurry up to the martial arts competition field. Hua senior brother and Gu senior brother from the martial arts training hall are coming. It is said that the scene where you defeated Zhang Han yesterday happened to be seen by senior brother Hua. Today, the two of them came to assess you. As long as you pass the assessment, you can smoothly enter the martial arts training hall. Yi Hao ran over panting heavily and looked at Tang Long with envy on his face, saying, practicing martial arts in the martial arts hall not only means not having to do anything, but also means that one's strength has further gained recognition from the sect. Which of the miscellaneous disciples in the miscellaneous hall doesn't aspire to? Now that Tang Long has the opportunity to enter the martial arts training hall, the chickens that envy him turn purple. On the martial arts arena. Are you Tang Long? That's right, it's him, it's not wrong. Before Tang Long could even answer Gu Shuzi's question, Hua Feng had already helped him answer. Don't worry, I heard from junior brother Hua that your swordsmanship is very good. Come on, let me show you some swordsmanship. As long as it is true, I will immediately take you into the martial arts training hall. Gu Shuzi said. Tang Long took a deep breath. To be honest, he was very excited when he heard that Hua Feng and Gu Shuzi had personally come to assess him in the martial arts training hall. This is like someone coming over to give him a pillow when he's dozing off. Yesterday he was still thinking about how to enter the martial arts training hall, but he didn't expect someone to come over to assess him today. He has seen the assessment for entering the martial arts training hall no less than 5 times. When he arrived, he felt that he could maintain a calm mind, but as soon as he stepped onto the martial arts competition platform and thought of entering the martial arts training hall soon, his heart couldn't help but surge. After taking a few deep breaths, Tang Long completely calmed down. Without hesitation, he confidently approached the weapon rack and pulled out a green steel sword. When the Qingang sword was wielded, Hua Feng and Gu Shuzi were surprised to find that Tang Long's entire aura had changed. Shua, as soon as the Qingang sword was wielded, it pulled out several sword flowers. Wudang swordsmanship is very simple and not much different from modern martial arts in terms of strength. Shua 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 shua, Tang Long's sword in his hand became faster and faster, his overall temperament was fierce, and his swordsmanship was like flowing clouds and flowing water. Every move and technique seems to be made in heaven, and both Hua Feng and Gu Shuzi can't help but be addicted to it, unable to extricate themselves. Brother Hua, Brother Gu. Until Tang Long finished using the entire set of swordsmanship, he saw that Hua Feng and Gu Shuzi had not woken up yet. He shouted 3 times in a row before finally regaining his senses. Hua Feng and Gu Shuzi exchanged a glance, both seeing a look of shock in each other's eyes. This swordsmanship is as perfect as art. Even in their respective masters, they have never seen such perfect swordsmanship. As for Master Zhang Sanfeng, I'm sorry, they haven't had the honor to see Zhang Sanfeng perform his swordsmanship yet. Not far away, Zhang Han's pupils contracted. Yesterday, he did lose, but later on, I think it was mostly due to Tang Long's cleverness. If we had to do it again, the outcome might have been different. At first glance today, it's completely different. Even if he tries 10 or 100 more times, he will ultimately lose. He was convinced by his words. As for other miscellaneous disciples, even if their strength and vision are limited, as long as they are not blind, they all know that Tang Long's swordsmanship is very impressive. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 9. Entering the Martial Arts Training Hall. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Senior Brother Gu, what do you think of this son? Tang Long was recommended by him, and it would be best to entrust this kind of decision-making to his colleague Gu Shuzi. I'm not as good as him. Gu Shuzi withdrew his gaze from Tang Long and said, at least in terms of swordsmanship, I'm not as good as him. Hua Feng nodded and said, although I don't want to admit it, this person's swordsmanship talent is too amazing. To put it bluntly, not to mention the 2 of us, I'm afraid the master and his team are also inferior. Gu Shuzi nodded and agreed with Hua Feng's words with both hands. Congratulations junior brother, you have passed the assessment. Hurry up and tidy up and join us in the martial arts training hall. As Gu Shuzi spoke, the audience below the Biwu stage immediately became boiling. The miscellaneous disciples in the audience had anticipated it for a long time, but after receiving formal confirmation from Gu Shuzi, they couldn't help but be excited. They seemed to see a scene of themselves entering the martial arts training hall in the future on Tang Long. Not far from the Biwu platform, Zhang Han tightly clenched his right fist and decisively turned around, returning to double his cultivation. The promotion of Wudang's sect is very simple. Generally, it starts with miscellaneous disciples. As long as they have good talent, practice diligently, and surpass the vast majority of people in a short period of time, they are likely to be promoted to disciples of the martial arts training hall. The disciples of the martial arts training hall are equivalent to inner disciples and can freely enter and exit the miscellaneous service hall and the martial arts training hall. Of course, if there are no special circumstances, disciples of the martial arts training hall rarely run to the miscellaneous service hall. After entering the martial arts training hall, as long as you perform well, you are likely to be noticed by the 7 heroes of Wudang and become a disciple. As for learning from Zhang Sanfeng is not something that the disciples of the martial arts training hall don't want to do. It's true that Zhang Sanfeng is currently mostly in seclusion. Unless Wudang sends out a major event, he may only show his face. Moreover, apart from accepting Mo Xingu as a disciple, Zhang Sanfeng had no intention of accepting him. Of course, it may also be because no one can meet his current standards for accepting apprentices. The martial arts training hall and the miscellaneous service hall have significant differences in treatment, but in fact, many of them are the same. The disciples of the martial arts training hall don't have to do the rough work of carrying water, chopping firewood, washing clothes, etc. They can freely learn more types and quantities of techniques. In addition to these, the living quarters in the miscellaneous hall are crowded with more than 10 people on a large, long bed. The martial arts training hall is different, with only 4 or 5 people in each dormitory, and each person has a separate bed. Follow Hua Feng and Gu Shuzi all the way through the martial arts arena and cafeteria of the training hall, and arrive at the new dormitory. Of course, it attracted many disciples from the martial arts training hall along the way. Yesterday, he defeated Zhang Han, who was widely recognized as the top miscellaneous disciple, by defeating the weak over the strong. Is that him? I shouldn't be wrong. Didn't you see that he was brought in by senior brother Hua and senior brother Gu together? I know him, he was among the same group as me who entered, and it is said that he is an orphan from a village not far from the foot of the mountain. However, it's strange that he used to behave very casually. Don't talk nonsense. As far as I know, he defeated Zhang Han yesterday not because of his strong cultivation, but because of his refined swordsmanship. Perhaps he didn't stand out before, he just spent his time focusing on practicing swordsmanship. Well, only this reason can explain it. Along the way, Tang Long could hear the whispers of disciples from the martial arts training hall. Of course, Tang Long did not forget important things. Along the way, as long as he entered the system coverage area, he would directly check their cultivation talents and martial arts learned. 6th grade talent. 5th grade talent. 6th grade talent. Except for Hua Feng and Gu Shuzi, the disciples of the martial arts training hall who have entered his system coverage range have the highest talent of only 7th grade. As for the talents of Hua Feng and Gu Shuzi, both are in the 8th grade. 8th grade talent, that belongs to advanced talent. Excited, but Tang Long is well aware that this is not the most appropriate time to download. In addition to talent, the martial arts practiced by the disciples of the martial arts training hall are much more advanced than those of the miscellaneous service hall, and their levels are higher. Of course, not everyone cultivates a lot of martial arts. They will choose an internal mental skill and a martial arts move. Like Hua Feng, he cultivates Wudang Jiuyang Gong and Ladder Cloud Zone. As for Gu Shuzi, he cultivates Wudang Nine Yang Gong and Wudang Soft Palm. Tang Junior Brother, you can rest assured to practice in the martial arts training hall. This is your waist token. Before Gu Shuzi left, he handed him a waist token. There is a martial arts pavilion at the innermost part of the training hall, which is guarded by an elder. If you want to borrow martial arts secrets from the pavilion, the waist token is a certificate. As for the rest, you can explore it yourself. Gu Shuzi gave Tang Long 2 instructions and then left directly with Hua Feng. They were originally only responsible for assessment, and the small matter of sending Tang Long into the martial arts training hall was handled by other disciples of the training hall. Perhaps considering Tang Long's excellent swordsmanship, he dropped in along the way. Tang Long thanked Gu Shuzi and Huafeng. He is indeed quite grateful to these two people, especially Huafeng. On the way, he learned from Gu Shuzi that the reason why he entered the martial arts training hall so quickly was thanks to Huafeng reporting to Song Yuanqiao. However, he is now without any assets and his strength is lower than the two of them. To repay such a thing, we can only postpone it. Hanging up his waist tag and getting a little familiar with the new environment, Tang Long quickly left the dormitory. Go to the martial arts pavilion to review the martial arts secrets. Isn't downloading directly fragrant? Upon arriving at the martial arts training hall, Tang Long could be described as a dragon entering the sea, like a fish in water, and his walking became more agile and graceful. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 10. 9 Rank Talent. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. As soon as you leave the dormitory, you can see figures practicing martial arts, practicing alone, or sparring with each other everywhere. Although promoted from the miscellaneous service hall to the martial arts training hall, the disciples of the training hall are now eagerly watching the second-generation disciples of Wudang, such as Song Yuanqiao. I hope that one day they will take me as an apprentice, which is the true core circle of Wudang's sect. There are thousands of disciples in the martial arts training hall, and Tang Long believes that besides Huafeng and Gu Shuzi, there must also be some who have missed the net. In terms of talent, there are even people who exceed the 8th grade talent. However, compared to his natural talent, Tang Long now places more emphasis on advanced internal mental techniques, such as Wudang Jiuyangong. Not only are talents graded, but also martial arts techniques. Martial arts techniques, from weak to strong, from simple to difficult, can be divided into basic, exquisite, superior, unparalleled, and extraordinary. As for whether there are any extraordinary techniques, it is not something Tang Long can understand at this stage. The Wudang heart technique and Wudang sword technique that he previously practiced belong to the lowest level basic skills and moves. The speed of a person's internal strength growth is determined by several factors. First, talent. Second, skill level. Thirdly, the realm of practicing martial arts, beginner's insight into the path, beginner's level, ascending to the hall and entering the room, novice level, refining to perfection, novice level, and reaching the pinnacle of perfection, full level. Fourth, diligence or not. Now Tang Long can only enter the martial arts training hall in a short period of time by practicing basic internal mental techniques such as Wudang mental techniques. What if he were to switch to other internal mental techniques? For example, Wudang Jiuyangong. The cultivation speed will definitely be faster. Shua, just as Tang Long was aimlessly gazing at his prey, a faint voice suddenly came from beside him. Looking up, he saw a young Taoist suddenly rise up in the air, and in the blink of an eye, he climbed onto a branch that was 5 or 6 meters high. Ladder cloud vertical. He had never seen someone perform the ladder cloud vertical before, but he had never observed it so closely before. Tang Long leaned over as if nothing had happened. System, lock me on the ladder cloud vertical and download it directly. Arriving at the foot of the big tree, Tang Long directly instructed the system in his mind. Ding, the ladder cloud vertical belongs to the superior lightness skill, and the download time takes half an hour. May I ask if the host is using the opportunity of instant download? Do not use. Why is this system always thinking about the opportunity to download it instantly? Good steel is used on the blade. The opportunity to download in an instant must be in a situation where it is absolutely necessary, or when encountering powerful talents or martial arts. For example, on Zhang Sanfeng. Because Zhang Sanfeng often shuts down and cannot see anyone for a long time, the opportunity to download in an instant is just right for him. Ding, the system is starting to download. Please keep the host and the little Taoist within 10 meters, otherwise. Fortunately, the little Taoist has been focused on practicing the ladder cloud vertical for half an hour, either on the ground or flying back and forth between two trees. Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully downloading Tianzong. May I ask if it will be integrated? Temporarily not fused. Tang Long slightly checked the talent of the little Taoist and found that he was only a 6th level talent, so he stopped and continued to search for the next target. 6th grade talent. 6th grade talent. 7 level talent. After half a turn, the highest talent is only 7th grade. However, there are also other gains. In addition to the originally downloaded ladder cloud vertical, he also downloaded the 9 Palace Bagua sword. The 9 Palaces and 8 Trigrams sword is an excellent Wudang sword technique. Downloaded, and Tang Long watched 2 disciples of the martial arts training hall sparring with each other for half an hour. As it was already noon, he was planning to go to the cafeteria for a meal and continue his exploration in the afternoon. At that moment, a young Taoist, who was 7 or 8 years old and had a beautiful appearance, ran over like a gust of wind, followed by this young Taoist in his 20s. I only heard the young Taoist chasing after me and persuading me, junior apprentice, don't act recklessly, or else I will be punished by the acting leader who knows about it and will think twice about it. Senior brother, as long as you don't tell my dad, how would he know? Although the young Taoist is young, he is already full of heroic spirit, especially his eyes, which are very spiritual. Besides, I don't run around recklessly. I heard that the martial arts training hall is very lively here, and many senior brothers are practicing martial arts here. Senior brother Hua Feng often comes here to play. I am also a 3rd-generation disciple of Wudang, why can't I come? This is not about acting as the head teacher to see that you are too young, junior brother. If you wait a few more years, the head teacher will definitely not care much about you in this regard. Really. I really hope to grow up soon, and then my dad won't be able to control me. It's really childish. Dai Zhangjiao, his father. This can't be Song Qingshu, this bare child, right? As far as Tang Long knows, Song Yuanqiao only has one son. Now that this little Taoist calls Song Yuanqiao his father, he is undoubtedly Song Qingshu. When Song Qingshu approached, he searched through the system. Name: Song Qingshu Martial Arts. Wudang 9 Yang Skill Cultivation Talent. 9th Rank Cultivation. Mid-stage of the 3rd rank realm. Seeing the attribute panel of Song Qingshu, Tang Long couldn't help but sigh. The 2nd generation is good. At a young age, they can directly cultivate Wudang Jiuyang Gong without having to start with miscellaneous disciples and have a luxurious life. 9 level talent. We must get it. Tang Long's eyes lit up. This is the strongest cultivation talent he has seen since entering the martial arts training hall. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.